All right. Welcome back. Ya beautiful bastards. Hello, dear. Oh, wow. There's a big old regiment over there. Not my problem. How far away is this, by the way? We're going the completely wrong way, it seems. Turn around and ride like the wind. Huh. All right. Into the right tavern we go. $5 months later, my God.
The cold, cold
Oh, drunk again.
ground.
Classic Irishman.
Here, here.
Hard at work, I see.
How did you...
It is time. We've set up camp to the north. Meet me there.
No offense, but
Gentlemen,
frickin' Zio over here,
let us away.
she has horribly tiny arms, skinny arms. Or maybe it's normal. It looks skinny to me.
First it was too cold. Now it's too goddamn hot.
Hold on. We gotta listen to the Braddock expedition. Date July 9th, 1755. This battle was part of the French and Indian War. In it, Edward Braddock's force of 1,500 British regulars and militia was decimated by a group of French-led troops half its size. This is not something we talk about much in Britain. Braddock had been sent to capture Fort at the top of the Ohio River. His officers included a young George Washington, possibly because Washington knew the area, having surrendered at Fort Necessity the year before. Braddock's troops were about 10 miles from Fort when they were ambushed by a group of French and indigenous fighters. Braddock's advance troops were overwhelmed and fell back into the main body of the army. His rear guard didn't hear the order to stop and kept advancing into the main body of the army. The result was chaos. Almost every one of his officers was killed, with the exception of Washington. Braddock himself was fatally wounded. Washington had him carried from the field and he died 4 days later. Oh, that's always good to die 4 days later after being fatally wounded. Great, great last 4 days, I would say. An interesting historical note, Braddock gave his officer's sash to George Washington, asking him to preserve it. Washington did. It is still on display at Mount Vernon. Okay. The battle is also known as Braddock's defeat, but interestingly, no one knows why. I'm kidding. Though, if you need me to tell you why, I don't think you really need. You're really cut out for this.
And humid too. It's a right swamp, I tell you.
To say nothing of the mosquitoes.
Warm weather and bugs are soon to be the least of our worries.
What? You mean the bulldog? Huh, please. We'll be in that one's beef soon enough and on to the next.
Where's your boy Lee gone off to?
Returned to finish out his service under Braddock.
I imagine the bulldog's none too pleased after the stunt we pulled.
Pleased to spin a tale of my incompetence and beg forgiveness. He has a way with words, especially when it comes to flattery. I expect he'll be welcomed back with open arms.
Which would give us a man inside.
Exactly.
Precisely.
Unless you've underestimated our enemy.
If I have, Charles will sense it first and make his escape. He's more clever than you think.
When this is done, I'm taking a week in New York. It's high time I went and saw the sights.
Okay.
I've empty.
Oh. No one cares about the whiskey bottles.
I see you've been busy.
All these men are from many different tribes, united in their desire to see Braddock sent away. The Abenaki, the Lenape, the Shawnee.
And you? Who do you stand for?
Myself.
What would you have me do?
Will you help the others to prepare? Follow. They come.
Everything all right, sir?
Just savoring the moment. No doubt, many wonder why it is we've pushed so far west. These are wild lands, as yet untamed and unsettled. But it shall not always be so.
Now,
In
why is
time, our
Washington
holdings
in
will
a
no
blue
longer
coat?
suffice.
Hmm?
And that day is closer than you think. We must ensure our people have ample room to grow and further prosper. Which means we need more land. The French understand this and endeavor to prevent such growth. They skirt around our territory, erecting forts and forging alliances, awaiting the day they might strangle us with the noose they've built. This must not come to pass. We must sever the cord and send them back. This is why we ride, to offer them one last chance. The French will leave, or they will die.
Now's the time to strike.
Wait. To scatter the expedition is not enough. We must ensure that Braddock falls, else he's sure to try again. I'll disguise myself as one of his own and make my way to his side. Your ambush will provide the perfect cover for me to deliver the killing blow.
Oh, goddamn. We gotta read about these Abenaki? The Abenaki nation originated in what's now northern New England and the southern Canadian Maritimes. Although suggested there only one nation may be a bit of a misnomer, since Abenaki can refer to numerous groups from the same approximate geographic area and language family. Algonquin, since you ask? Although the various Abenaki would join together during crisis events, like when they were under attack from the other nations, for the most part, they had no central authority. That's probably partially what caused the encroachment of British colonists on their land. The British liked to have formal governments that could negotiate treaties with. It's just so much more civilized, and sometimes there are what? Canapes? What? So, from the colonists' perspective, no central government meant that the Abenaki had no claim of the land. Of course, they could have found out otherwise, but that would have taken work and been complicated. And perhaps most importantly, the Abenaki might have said no. While the Abenaki tried to remain neutral during the French and Indian War, they were quite literally caught between the warring British and French colonies, so some conflict was inevitable. For the most part, they sided with the French, who were less reasonable, less responsible for driving them out of their homeland. The lesser of two evils, I suppose you could say, though that's a sentence I never thought I would say about the French.
We await your signal.
Okay, hold on. Lana? Lenape, also called the Lenape or the Delaware. Before European colonization, the Lenape lived mostly along the banks of the Delaware River in what's modern-day New Jersey and Pennsylvania. The Lenape were one of the first nations to come into contact with Europeans, most significantly with William Penn, who founded Pennsylvania, which was a stroke of luck given his name. While the Lenape relationship with Penn was mostly peaceful, when Penn died, his sons forced most of the Lenape off their land in a deal known as the Walking Purchase. During the French and Indian War, the Lenape sided primarily with the French, though some individual groups would later leave to join the British. In 1778, when the they were the first to sign a land treaty with the Continental Congress, agreeing to provide scouts to the army in exchange for supplies. I imagine they simply liked fine cheeses and onions. The newly formed United States showed its gratitude by eventually moving the Lenape into isolated communities in Ohio and southern Canada. How wonderfully thoughtful. And then the Shawnee. At the time of the French and Indian War, the people of the Shawnee Nation were mostly living in and around the Ohio Valley, the territory surrounding Fort. Traditionally, their hunting grounds had extended into Pennsylvania and Virginia, but they were being slowly moved from their lands by the advancing line of British colonization. Hoping to stop, or at least slow, settlement, some of the Shawnee entered the war siding with their traditional trading partners. That is, the French. I'm seeing a theme here. By 1758, some Shawnee negotiated peace with the British in the Treaty of Easton. However, the treaty wasn't respected, and if you know anything about colonial history, you're probably sadly unsurprised about that. Leading to another war, Pontiac's Rebellion in 1763. By the time the American Revolution started, many of the Shawnee opted to remain neutral, although some sided with the British, again hoping to hoping for help pushing back colonialists, colonists. Sorry. Unfortunately, the result was the same as many other indigenous peoples. The Shawnees were forced to leave their lands, with the majority eventually settling in Oklahoma. Good Lord, settling in Oklahoma, as if their story couldn't get any worse. Oh, shots fired. We gotta wait for this. Okay, kill militia without triggering open conflict. And I have to do it
There, in front
twice.
of us.
Hmm. Huh. Hmm.
Kill them!
There we go. Oh, uh, uh, uh. Oh, I'm sorry. Jesus Christ, don't push me, man. I'm still learning how to fight. I haven't really fought that much. Okay, now wait a minute. Why didn't I keep the red coat outfit I had earlier? You know, when we were marching in to free the, indigenous people that were freaking captured.
How could anyone call this forest home?
I'm telling you,
It's all
pack
mud
the
and
cart
With the
too
French
high.
pushback, there'll be a lot of opportunities for us up north.
Well, I'll just take a shortcut up here.
Have served, you mean? Sir, you are grateful to have served.
General!
Oh,
Edward. Not so fun on the other end of the barrel, is it?
Look out!
oh. They killed my horse. Damn it.
Sir. Where are you off to, Edward?
Well, time to find out and follow him. Destroy powder carts. Oh. Okay. I don't know exactly how to destroy powder carts, apparently. Dead net. Oh. Hold on, let me reload. Just fail this again. You think aiming at the barrel and shooting it would have, caused it to explode, but apparently not. You have to frickin' do the reflex shot like that. Reflex. Yeah, you know what? Kind of deserved. Mom. Okay. Might have been a little too close for that, but whoops. Oh my god. There we go. Oh. Well, it's time to die.
I
Braddock.
took you for a coward, Edward.
Come on, then!
Oh, Washington.
Such arrogance. I always knew it would be the end of you. Is the end of you.
Don't. Hurry before he gets away! I said go!
She could change history right now. Hold on, we gotta read about George Washington, okay? In case you didn't know about him. Born 1732. Here's a name even you should recognize. George Washington. who will go on to be the leader of the army during the American Revolution and the first president of the United States. I mean, technically, he's not the first president, right? He was like the first officially elected president or something. There's like other presidents, right? I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard that somewhere. I was going to say you probably know everything I'm going to tell you, but that would be a lie. What you know is that George Washington has a lot of things named after him, and anything else you learned in school you forgot because you thought you'd never use it in real life. You should call your history teacher and tell her she was right all along. How do you know my history teacher was a she? Hmm? That's presuming. George Washington was the son of a planter from Virginia. He was raised as with little education, but was ambitious, teaching himself mostly from books. Washing, washing, okay, another error. Washington started in business early, speculating on land starting at the age of 18. When he was 20, his older brother died, leaving him the heir of the family plantation at Mount Vernon, where he lived until his death, and where you can still visit his grave today. Washington got his military start during the French and Indian War, leading an expedition to Fort in 1754, a destination he never reached, having surrendered at Fort Necessity. The next year, Washington headed to Fort again, this time as a guide for Edward Braddock during the ill-fated Braddock expedition. Washington went as a volunteer, hoping that working with Braddock would get him a track to military promotion. Though the battle was a rout, Washington earned credit for organizing the retreat, and later that year he was made a colonel in charge of the Virginia militia. Washington completely revamped the militia with hopes that under his organization and training they would be accepted into the British military. They never were. Washington resigned his post in 1758. I won't say the snub led to his contempt for the British, but snubs rarely help. By the late 1760s, Washington had become active in political life, taking on a role in the Virginia House of Bourgeoisie. Is that how? Burgesses? Burgesses? Not bourgeoisie. I don't think that's the word. Whatever. He went on to be a member of the Continental Congress, and when war broke out in 1775, he was Congress's choice to lead the army. At the time, Washington said, "I do not think myself equal to the command I am honored with," which, I'm sure, inspired complete confidence in everyone who heard it. Imagine if you were on an airplane and the captain opened with that. It's possible Washington was being falsely modest, but the fact is this: he wasn't a military genius and he knew it. Though I'm sure it hurts your American pride to hear me say he wasn't perfect. No, it doesn't. Washington had several narrow misses where the army could have easily been obliterated, at Manhattan and again at Brandywine, among others. Washington won in an early victory. He broke the siege of Boston, but then made the disastrous move of fortifying New York, a city he couldn't defend without a navy he didn't have. Even you can work that one out. He spent the latter half of 1776 retreating across New York and New Jersey, losing battle after battle, until Christmas, when he pulled off a successful surprise attack. The Haitian troops, Hessian troops at Trenton. And while the battle makes for some famous paintings, and it did rally the flagging confidence of the public. It was a minor victory in the war. Anyway, back to, chasing.
You're a hypocrite, Hatham!
I'm sorry, Edward, but you forced my hand.
Couldn't I just... Yeah, okay. Enough running through swamps.
Why, Hatham?
Your death opens a door. It's nothing personal.
Turns out you can't run away from a gun.
Well, maybe it is a little personal. Been a pain in my ass, after all.
But we are brothers in arms.
Once, perhaps. No longer.
Do you think I've forgotten what you did? All those innocents slaughtered, and for what? It does not engender peace to cut your way to resolution.
Wrong. Whether we applied the sword more liberally and more often, the world would be a better place than it is today.
In this instance,
Ooh.
I concur. Farewell, Edward.
What? He was wearing a ring over his glove? Over his glove? Weird.
it's done. Now I have upheld my part of the bargain. I expect that you will honor yours.
Follow me.
Okay. And this is where he came in as freaking Desmond. Okay. All connected, yes.
No. No!
You seem disappointed.
I thought that I held a key that would open something here.
This room is all there is.
I expected more. What do they mean?
It tells the story of Yotzitzizu,
Huh?
who came into their world and shaped it for what life might come. She had a hard journey, fraught with great loss and peril. But she believed in her children and what they might achieve. And though she is long gone from the physical world, her eyes still watch over us. Her ears still hear our words. Her hands still guide us.
Huh?
And her love still gives us strength.
You have shown me great kindness, dear. Thank you. I should go.
Hold on. Let's read this. Never mind. Update. Okay, can't read it. The database. Does it tell me when it's been updated? Ah, yes, right here. It was George Washington who carried Braddock from the field on his sash, which Braddock then entrusted to Washington. That carrying bit may sound a bit odd, but the sash is bigger than it looks. More than 3 meters long and doubled as a field hammock. It says something about officers that they'd wear a piece of clothing designed to carry their body off the battlefield, which would also single them out of getting shot at. The ways of war are mysterious. Braddock died of his injuries a few days later. Washington kept the sash. Here's something interesting. Because of concerns that enemy soldiers would desecrate Braddock's body, he was buried under the road, so the wagons would run over the earth and hide the gravesite. In 1804, road workers rediscovered the remains and they were moved to another site, which is now marked by a marble monument. Fascinating. Isn't history interesting? If only someone better could read all those texts for you. A few days later. Now hold on. Do we have any more pages? Do I dare go back to goddamn? Do a fucking Benjamin? Hmm. I mean, he's a ways away. Whoops. We'll screw it. He probably has nothing to say. I don't have all the almanac pages, so he's not interested.
Master Kenway, did you find it then?
It was not the right place.
The others are waiting for you.
Gentlemen, please, sit.
Freaking Thomas didn't get up. He didn't even get up.
I fear our temple was no more than a painted cave. Although it did contain precursor images and script, which means we are close.
Not close enough, it seems.
We need to redouble our efforts and expand our order and establish a permanent base here. Although the site eludes us, I am confident we will find it.
Truth.
Hear, hear.
Furthermore, I believe it is time we welcome Charles into our fold. He has proven himself a loyal disciple and served unerringly since the day he came to us. He should be able to share in our knowledge and reap all the benefits that such a gift implies. Are any opposed? Very well. Charles, come, stand. Do you swear to uphold the principles of our order and all that for which we stand?
I do.
And never to share our secrets nor divulge the true nature of our work?
I do.
And to do so from now until death, whatever the cost?
I do.
Then we welcome you into our fold, brother. Together, we will usher in the dawn of a new world, one defined by purpose and order. Give me your hand. You are a Templar.
A Templar?
May the
Who could have
Father
saw
of
that?
Understanding guide us.
Who could have saw that coming?
May the Father of
May the Father of
understanding
Understanding guide us.
Wait, what?
Oh. Oh no, that was abrupt. And that's why freaking Hatham has the broken Assassin's Creed, the assassin symbol on his freaking gauntlet or whatever there. He's no
We all
longer an
saw that, right?
assassin.
Wow.
Well, indeed.
I remember that. But
The
Yeah.
key must be the amulet Hatham took from London. We might know what it looks like, but we're no closer to finding it. Desmond, you need to keep going.
of course.
Hey, he's your ancestor too. Why don't you hop in the Animus?
Really? That's your response? It's like dealing with a 6-year-old. What is wrong with you, Desmond?
You want to know what's wrong? I'm sick of being treated like I'm not even here. Desmond, do this. Desmond, do that. Desmond, you better figure things out because the sun is going to turn us all to ash. And I know I was really nice to you, but actually I'm just another Templar plot twist. And yes, I would like very much for you to be controlled by a magic space wizard so that you can murder me. So there's your answer. I'm sick of being a goddamn pawn. I thought it might be different with you. I mean, you're my father, but turns out you're no better than the fucking Templars.
Oh.
Don't you ever equate me to those bastards again. You hear me? Everything I do, everything I have done, has been for you. Maybe I pushed a little too hard, asked a little too much. But try and remember exactly what's at stake here. You need to get it together, kid. We're running out of time.
Right, that was unusual. Well, I'm just going to pretend that this never happened and get back to bringing everyone up to speed on where we stand. The news isn't good. It appears this temple is powered by a collection of, well, I guess they're batteries. You found one on your way in, but there aren't any more, at least not down here.
Any idea on where we can find replacements?
Not yet, so I intend to tiptoe into the Abstergo database. Now, if I can cross-reference these particular devices with their database, then maybe we'll get lucky.
See what you can do.
Obviously. Anyway, Desmond, you can either take a look around here, or we can head back to the Animus.
Maybe I should just head back to the Animus because, you know. Is this where I get the emails? I'm pressing buttons. Any button. I'm pressing any button. Oh, okay, wait. Oh, that was back in the Animus.
All right, here goes.
Undan nizero het stanyo.
Oh.
Awira awa unde yard on jadagun. Tone warda nagarade. Desajera nero niha. Nekti yate huwayat na kera. Azekante tajajera oni. Nekti ya otena degari wastakwe. Agungwe da sun a wahuan nordun kwedzi niot nesagoda ya ogun'a. Zewajerda sriat dizax ne hatham. Raganero kwakwe unte zini togwenyo. Nek di ohando yo hawihtun ya de haganerakwe. Dinuer da ojokwa templar alguego tadinyaro darhox. Ne onha at getsanis. Di gatke sun arian a higun sagandanu agat gatto di ne sagar skanex.
Sequence 4. I'm not even going to bother to say that. 1760.
Is it one day star?
Oni sajerha.
Ya otana gwanek gwanek.
Radunagedu, te wat kirichirunyana. Runajagedu na deratu danu yagodunis.
How was? Nexi dosa izi nakahanda di yahaze.
What's that? Go beyond the valley. Sure thing.
Erda izuet di jona wat stage. Gariwes wat gano harenyu tigo yorunya zawadah kwanya sum'a. Gonna squaxor na Johnny.
Hold on. Now we got this territory to read. The Kanika Nation territory, more commonly known these days as the Mohawk Valley. This valley follows the Mohawk River as it runs between the Catskill and Adirondack Mountains. It is part of the territory of the, sometimes known as the Mohawk in English, hence the name. I just gotta hear them say their names, and then I'll try to Try to remember. The valley also happens to be the only natural route from the Atlantic Ocean to the Great Lakes, meaning it was the only easy way to get from the coast into frontier territory and up into Canada. This made the valley incredibly strategically important during the French and Indian War and during the Revolutionary War. And by strategically important, I mean the valley was contested territory and regularly raided. Most of the settlements in it were razed during the Revolutionary War. Actually, the damage to the surrounding farmland was so bad that food had to be shipped into the area from the south. The revolution is known in the area as the burning of the valleys. That says it all, really.
Hi, Star.
Hi, Star.
And then I see, can it a friend of this is Connor. I know that this is Connor. We're just gonna say Connor for now until they say his goddamn name so I can know how to say it. From the same village, the two boys were the same age and members of the same clan, making them cousins, though the connection may have been somewhat distant. The boys were inseparable throughout their childhood, with him being the more conservative of the two. That is, Connor would be the one to get them in trouble, and him would try to talk them out of it. Look, I butchered Italian, freaking Renaissance names, goddamn Constantinople. Now I'm gonna butcher Native American names. I'd rather not.
Toga nuang zede wakede.
Gundi Gawana Oguaho Yaga Gundi Nagere Gaa Tony Gunas Dinio Ne Okwari.
Danane radiatine kera, renungue, runsa nage, de wat jirat gawas. Wagari warge di ot stara ganatanyadu, radinagare.
Danadi de Ted Onataya Yedawawe. Anahoda de wat garitsa dunyane.
Yagoda setuga.
Hide and seek? Oh, let me guess. I'm gonna be the one seeking.
Zora gohadu. Is it as a datum?
Of course.
Aska Degani Asa Gayeri. Aska de wat nyawe.
100. My God, he actually counted. Analyze clue. That's mud. Footprints. Leading in that direction. Find all the children without making a mistake. Find all the children without making a mistake. What does that mean? Yes, yes. Yes, yes. See that right there? That's a footprint. Yes, yes. Look at this. Right there, right there.
Wagariwayewas on nayawat ne daga jidawat dandi. Tony gariwas isere ahona dasa dohage.
Got another clue over here. We have two footprints going in two different directions. Hmm.
Is there
another clue around?
Oh, okay, then you go hard at it. And say Juni to go to Octa US.
Do I dare do this?
Waguyat that sorry.
Okay. What? You both hit together. Do we have any more clues? Yes, another clue over here. Two clues, in fact. Yes. You see that? That's the last kid's footprints, I bet. You think he's in that stack right there? It's fresh mud right there. What? He wasn't even really hiding. And yet somehow he was the last one found. Let's play again. What? Oh. Oh God, I'm gonna get found.
Oscar, Degani, Asa, Gayerdi, Whisk, Yayak, Sada, Sadegu, Jotu, Oyerdi, Oscar you are it, Degani you are it, Asa you are it, Gayerdi you are it, Whisk you are it, Yayak you are it, Sada you are it, Sadegu you are it, Jotu you are it.
Oh, hiding spot occupied, you bastard. Oh. Oh God, it's these guys. The Templar bastards. Oh, and Charles trips me, of course.
You look familiar. Where have I seen you before?
Ooh.
That wasn't very nice.
Let me go!
Listen to that. He knows English.
Small for a savage.
You're spirited too. We have questions for your elders. Only tell us where your village is, boy, and you can go.
Best do as he asks, child.
I could snap your neck, you know. A little more pressure, and pop. The sad little flame of your life extinguished. You are a nothing, a speck of dust. You and all your ilk, living in the dirt like animals, oblivious to the true ways of the world.
Jesus, they
The wiser among you
really turned pretty fast.
The
they were kind of like decent people, and now they're kind of very rude.
No. You cling desperately to your ways, too ignorant to know your folly. But I am not unkind. And so I spare you, that you may carry word to your people. Let them know the sooner we are given what we seek, the sooner you can return to your pathetic, empty lives. A fair trade, is it not?
What is your name?
Charles Lee. Why do you ask?
So I can find you.
Oh.
I look forward to it.
Oh, please. Oh, whoa. Oh, that's a concussion right there for sure. What the hell? Oh, ugh. I just. Okay, I'm getting better. Oh, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. The village is on fire. Great. Oh. Well, I guess we gotta go through here. Yeah, oh my god, I'm so strong. I'm a little kid and I'm this strong. What the fetch?
Radun Hagedu. Gohnu Gwadi.
Oh my god.
Radun Hagedu. Gohnu. Yahta, John. Onak ti on Sadego. Onak.
Oh, mother, no.
Zodi Onaga, Ona.
I'm so strong, I swear.
Zet Sotstek. Radun Hagedu.
Ratun Hetkeiton.
Dodek, Dodek. Oserek. Doga Zun Haak. Osesege. Nekti Zaderi Onderak. Dinawe. Adini Kwek Gunhage.
Ya, Zadoressa, da Quatka, da Gerihu, Akenyaga,
Oh, God. Oh, well, it's such a great mission. We started off playing hide and seek, and then I got assaulted, and now my mother's dead. 9 years later. No, I'm not ready. In fact, dare I say we need to end. Oh. Can we go any higher? Can we get much higher? No. Well. Oh my god, synchronization points. What the hell is this? Egg-like trinket. We'll get a synchronization point. Oh, updated. Fudge, we gotta read all this. Freaking actions during the Braddock expedition, along with her relationship with a known Templar, more or less excluded her from becoming a clan mother herself in adulthood. However, it seems even after her child was born, she continued arguing for action in the war rather than the restraint advocated by the village elders. She did, however, cut off all contact with Hatham. It is not clear why the Templars attacked in 1760 or what their objective might have been. The village was nearly destroyed, but recovered over the course of several years. We got it. We'll have to read that next time. Guess I have to get all the way to the synchronization point and climb it, and hell, we have to go back to frickin' modern day. To frickin' hear any of the new dialogue. Oh god, feathers. Not again. What's with Assassin's Creed games and collecting feathers? Hopefully there's not 100 of them. For God's sake, please. Don't let there be 100 of them. But at least this time they're on a map. How do I get up there? I took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. I might not be allowed to go up there. Purge. You have to go back to, I guess, this synchronization point? Oh god, we're not gonna make it. Okay, well, piss. They're just saying no, you're not allowed any synchronization point. Fine. Fine, we'll end it right here, right now. I should have just ended it back when I'm with my friend, but whatever. Assassinate? Oh, a deer. I hope you enjoyed this episode, you beautiful bastards. We finally got to Connor. Or, frickin' Rannicatonic. I'm sorry, Connor. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.